We are back again with another episode of the Fielding Bros, the show where we talk about everything football. And today, this one's probably going to be a quick one, man, because this team have done absolutely nothing, honestly. So, we're just going to talk about, just to carry on that series about every big club in the Premier League. Today, we're going to talk about, I guess, Man City, the champions, what they've been up to, or what they've not been up to. And also, we're probably going to touch on Spurs as well, all right? So, guys, let's go. The champions, man. What can we say about them? I mean, decent preseason for them. They've won some, drew some. I don't think they lost, right? But yeah, the preseason has basically been about the kids because there's been very, 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 very little activity at Man City. What do you guys think?
Yeah. Very, very good intro right there because the preseason has been decent. They ended it with a title, right? Against Manchester United on penalties. So, I was seeing something.
The glorified friendly.
The glorified friendly, let's be honest. Something you want to win, of course, because it's good for morale. It's good for, just a little boost before the season starts. But, the level, that's the most worrying part, I will say. Obviously, they didn't have everybody back, the De Bruyne's, the Bernardo Silva's, and, Foden, everybody's not back yet. So we can't really judge to the level, but at the same time, the lack of activity, which is something we're going to talk about, is something worrying. Knowing the ambition for this season, you kind of feel like they need some additions in the team, right? And one thing I was going to say is just the fact that, something I've seen before was that every year, they play the Community Shield and they lost it. They went on and win the league. But the years that they won it, they didn't win the league. So is that a sign? Right? The fact that they won this year. So that's a little bit of what I can summarize with City just starting off.
Sorry, Terry, before we start, because Freddie just touched on that. Before we touch onto the activity or lack thereof, let's talk about that Community Shield game, man, because they did play against you guys. And I know, it's a glorified friendly, but like you said, if you're playing it, you want to win it. And at the end of the day, it is a trophy. What did you guys think of the game?
I thought we played well. I think the first 25, maybe 30 minutes, we were kind of all over the place. Like, we spent most of the time trying to build up, and people just seem confused at the back, like where to go, what to do and stuff. I didn't know about the Martinez at left back.
That was a weird one.
I guess it needs must. Obviously, you weren't gonna play that kid that's been playing all preseason. He's only 17, playing against. He's playing against who was on that wing again? I can't really remember, but Oscar Bob. Playing against Oscar Bob, that would have been tough for him, and so I guess a little bit needs must, but first 30 minutes we really weren't much, and then it's really after that Martinez mistake when he tried to play to Evans and they nearly scored from it. That's when we kind of woke up a little bit. It got a bit crisper, the passing movement got a bit better. We actually were able to play out a few times. And we got a bit confident. And we probably should have been 2-0 up by half. Second half, again, was very even. There wasn't much going on. And then we started kind of killing them on the counter a little bit. So overall, I think we're the better team. But like we said, it is a glorified friendly. They didn't have a lot of their players. Our players, I'm surprised most of them started, but you could tell they haven't played for 3 weeks. So they were very rough, the first probably 60 minutes. But the main thing for us, I would say, is that we leave the game with no new questions. You don't leave the game with injuries. You don't leave the game with you got battered 4-0. What's going to happen to Ten Hag? What's going to happen here? Who's going to play? You leave the game with okay, we can play. We have more gears we can find. We see where we're going with this. We see a little bit how he wants us to play. We like the 4-4-2. Let's bring on the season. So, I think man. I don't know if you guys have anything to add to that.
For the game, definitely paid more attention to Man U than City.
Yeah, yeah.
Gary just summarized there. But again, on the City side, though, I would say it took them quite a while to get into gear. We saw a few flaws, but we saw a few positives, man. That Oscar Bob kid, he showed some flashes of brilliance.
It's looking scary, man. This
It
guy.
is looking scary. This kid has some touches, some drop of the shoulders. Like, man, this kid, if they can work it out with him and Doku, and I don't know where to put Foden and De Bruyne. They still have a squad, right? They still have a squad. It's not like much has changed from the team last season. One big negative I want to highlight before I kind of pass on, the floor here is Haaland. Wow, boy, is it bad in finals. This guy completely gets a close his ability on for every single final and just vanishes. Like, barely remember him having a kick except the penalty, which Onana kind of wanted to entertain him on that. There wasn't much, man. There wasn't much from Allen, and I think that's a worry for them. We know when the season starts, you will probably see a different beast. But since he's been at the club, we've seen that. We've seen times where he's not there. He's just not involved. When De Bruyne is not there to feed him consistently, or even Bernardo Silva doing the same, it's hard for him. So let's see how that plays out. Definitely, as a Man U fan, I want to see that carry on. Let's see him play like this for every game of the season. That's gonna be just icing on the cake for us.
Yeah, I mean, I'll tell you what, you're not gonna see that carry on because you basically you played Man City's academy, man, and you drew 1-1 against them. So I mean, at the end of the day,
hey, we are the academy there. Come on, hey, let's not do that.
I mean, come on, man. Do you see who they had on the field? Like, who they had started? Come on.
Did you see who we had?
Basically everybody apart from your center backs.
That's a big
Left back,
Lisandro Martinez is
a striker,
striker. Okay, who did you have there as a striker? Rashford,
Mason Mount.
We have mounts. Weird 4-2-4.
Testament of your coach. I mean, are you telling me is Amad Diallo not a starter this year?
We don't know.
Bruno was there. Casemiro was there. Kobe Mainoo was there. Dalot,
all back after one game. Yeah,
we had a stronger team than they did. We had a stronger team. Nobody.
These guys play kids. Half of them I don't even know. Like
Rico Lewis, you don't know him.
I mean, he's a kid. That's what I'm saying. He's a kid.
Yeah, but you know him. He's been playing for like 3 years in the first team.
Who's Nico O'Reilly? Who's James McAteer?
They
have Kovacic playing 6. I mean, come on, man.
Okay, so what's your point? I'm looking at the point.
My point is
penalties,
yeah.
Against kids.
We played better than them.
Against the third team. But
at the end of the day, you play that game because you want something, which you would have loved to be playing in that game.
We won it last year. Anyway, let's get back to City, man. So what do you make of their lack of activity this year? And I mean, let's see what they have. Well, I mean, they were supposed to. I guess they were supposed to, get the Alvarez deal done out, and that was going to bring in some money. And I felt like, from then on, you will see City, get into the market and start looking for players. But as it stands, it looks like that deal has stalled a little bit, and that puts everything back in question. I mean, to date, they only have one signing, which is Savio, and I mean, I know they're the champions, but is that going to be enough?
That's the big question for them, especially at this time, because if that Alvarez deal falls through, I think that's gonna be really, really symbolic.
To get 80 million for Alvarez, that is decent business.
That's good money.
I mean, I don't know who's doing the business over there, but he's a genius.
That's good money.
That's good money.
Woo!
They got him for 17.
That's good money.
That's very good money. So
that's some good business. They just build up this player to have all these titles, all these caps, and selling him. They're not playing around with it. But yeah, this deal cannot go. It cannot go south. He has to go through. I think there's been so much involvement at this point. Like they have to find a way to make it work, because otherwise that's going to be pretty embarrassing. And then what is City going to do with the player? I don't know. But yes, the lack of activity in general though is a little bit worrying, because again, they still have the squad. Most of that squad that won last season. So can Guardiola make something happen with that? We know he can. We know he could. But do those players have the legs to carry on and have an impressive run again? That's gonna be the tough one. De Bruyne not who he used to be. Even Bernardo Silva not who he used to be. But you can trust Pep as well to bring in the kids. You mentioned them just now, McAtee and Oscar Bob and Rico Lewis, who have been making appearances. Maybe not so McAtee, but it seems like we're gonna see more of him. Pep himself gave him some accolade after the game, so that's an intro to the team as well. Just overall sentiment with City is that they're not gonna be it's not gonna be the strongest City we've seen this season. Not only because other teams are getting stronger, namely Arsenal is gonna put a lot of pressure on them. They're gonna have to keep it perfect again, so that Arsenal doesn't come and just dominate. So they have a lot to worry about. Without new blood, how is that going to work? Usually they make those clutch signings and just comes in and slots in nice and smooth. We had that with Doku, last year. Not so much this year. So Savio, Savinho, good player. I don't have any doubt with him. He's gonna do his part, but don't they need more? They do need more, especially up front, with Alvarez now leaving, right? So who's that going to be?
Yeah, man. I mean, it's tough with City because you've been dominating the league. So, it's kind of like who can make you better? There's not many guys out there that can make you better for, money that you're willing to spend, because you can find guys that make you better, but you're going to be spending a lot of money for them, so. But they do also, obviously, it is a squad game, so they have areas maybe of the squad. If Alvarez leaves, for example, they will need another striker for sure. But they also, the thing I would say is that there is a little bit of a question mark on maybe some players and maybe the team in general, in terms of the last, I think, was it 2 or 3 seasons, is usually been huffing and puffing first 6 months of the season, getting by, winning, losing some, getting upset every now and then.
You say huffing and puffing, but maybe it's pacing themselves. I mean, you can
maybe it is. Yeah, that's true. Maybe it is. I just feel like, how long can you keep doing that for? I know they've done it for 3 seasons, maybe even more in a row. I can't remember quite the seasons before that, how they went. But how long can you keep doing that where you rely on that second half of the season form? And like we saw last season, you guys matched them pretty much all the way, and except for that Aston Villa game. So how long can you keep relying on having that big push, like De Bruyne comes back and is magical and whatever, I don't know how many times. Obviously, they have the best manager in the world, so we'll see how motivated they are. It is always theirs to lose rather than kind of anybody else's to win. Yeah, I do think they, like Freddie said, they need pieces, but it is. I do understand their situation in the same aspect as well, that it is hard for them when you've been dominant for so long to find people that will come in and be better than what you already got.
Yeah, so I mean, I know they're champions in that, but so what do they need to keep to stay at the top? What do they need in terms of transfer? Do you see any holes that they have? I mean, for me, if I go ahead and answer that myself, I feel like they need. First of all, I think they need a better goalkeeper, because they Ederson is, for me, I think I've seen him lately.
I was surprised he stayed.
Is making a lot. There was rumors of him going as well, but I think it's still there. He's making a lot of mistakes, and I think that they will need the main is strengthening there. In forward areas, I mean, if Alvarez goes, obviously they'll need a replacement for that, because for him, because just Haaland cannot be the only number 9 all season.
Yeah.
In the midfield, I mean, De Bruyne struggles to stay on the field lately. He's been injured, for the last couple of years now. He's been injured a lot, and so they might think about getting a replacement for him. I mean, I know they have Rodri there, and obviously Foden is there. Bernardo Silva can do a job, but maybe on that right hand side as well. I mean, I know they got Oscar Bob and Savio as well, maybe to cover there, so maybe they're right there. But Bernardo Silva, getting on a little bit as well, so maybe you need some refreshment there as well. And I think just to stay on top. I think those are the the positions where they'll need assistance. Like, what do you think?
Yeah, just some new blood all around. Some new blood, obviously key positions, but it's pretty much all around at this point from what we're hearing. Maybe in defense, they're doing a little better than other positions, but yeah, man, I do think they need that. They need a new blood that's going to be more so hungry about, making the place to the team and pushing everybody so that, it's a competitive atmosphere within the team. And that's going to transpire into the league as well, because when you're going for your 5th time pretty much in a row, it's like, what's the motivation? What's the after that? What's the just the push. So yeah, that new blood can help with that. And let's see if they do any business. 3 weeks, it's quite a while to go, as Thierry said. Who, in terms of names now, so we're talking about a position, but in terms of names, who out there fits or could be a great addition to them? Which signing you can be, oh yeah, this is exactly what they needed. For me, one name I had in mind was Danny Olmo, and I'm surprised they didn't go harder for him. I'm surprised that Barca won that battle there.
Which, by the way, sorry to cut you off, but how? They need to do, we need to check them. Like, they need to show bank account. Like, how? Do they offer like 2 oranges and a goat? Like, what?
Hey, it's Barca, man. It's Barca. They find a way. Every time. They find a way, man. Don't worry about that.
Man, from day to day, they go from bankrupt to back again. Who knows, right? Who knows? I'm just surprised. I'm surprised, City.
But saying that, that's a fantastic signing.
That's a signing. That's a signing in a house.
Wow. Out of somewhere like this, I'm done. I'm like, yeah.
Yeah, and they're saying just to caveat on that, they're saying that they're still in for Nico Williams. Imagine they got both. But yeah. I mean, I agree with you. I mean, Danny Olmo would have been perfect, but Danny Olmo would have been perfect for anybody. I mean, I'm sure Pep will find a way. I mean, it's Pep, and if there's one manager you cannot second guess, is Pep. I mean, he's been there, done it, and he's got a T-shirt. So all we can do is just wait and see. I mean, I'm sure Pep will get him competitive. He knows what to tell him, and he is a competitor himself. So he's not gonna let anything go. So not let anything left to chances. So I'm sure that he got it, but I mean, it just right now is looking a bit peak for them. But I mean, they have a couple of people in the academy.
They do.
They're coming in. I mean, Oscar Bob, like we said. I mean, was it?
He was all right too.
Yeah, Michael T, but I don't think he's going to stay because his position is too there. So midfielder is too packed there for him. But I mean, obviously, Rico Lewis, he's been in the team, the squad. I mean, he's growing as well. So I mean, it's City, and like you said, Thierry, they're always going to be the guys to beat. So at the end of the day, they will just the less they do, the better for us. You know what I mean? that's all that we can. That we can hope for. But let's move on. Let's move on to Spurs, another team that has been pretty quiet in the transfer window right now. From just as we speak right now, I think they just clinched the signing of Dominic Solanke and other signings coming in. I think they made Timo Werner permanent, or I think his loan is not quite done yet. I think his loan runs to. Okay. And another notable signing is the Archie Gray from Leeds, which I did, but I mean, I don't know much about him, but apparently he's just that special, kid that's gonna come and change their fortune and finally get him to the promised land and
slow down.
25 years of bro. So yeah, I mean, but let's talk about the big one, Dominic Solanke, man. What do you think?
It's a weird one because we were actually talking.
65 million, by the way.
Yeah, we were talking about that with
Bro.
Nate off air before the Liverpool episode, and
Yeah.
I mean, he had a good season. He was good, but that was his first decent season ever. And you're paying 65 mil.
65 million. I mean, I'll tell you who's happy. Bournemouth.
No, Bournemouth is ecstatic. Bournemouth is ecstatic. I mean, the guy scored what?
I couldn't believe it when they came with 65 million offer. I couldn't believe it.
I think he scored 19 goals last season, and you're gonna sign. I mean, you guys got roasted for signing Havertz for 60 million. I don't think this is much different. Like this guy, I mean, I hope he does well because I like him as a player. I like the way he plays. But that's not that's a lot of money.
Yeah. Huh? No, it's a lot of money and there's no pedigree. At least Havertz, you can say you can add a few accolades to that,
Yeah.
Germany international, Champions League winner, and all of that. So that can justify the price a little bit.
Yeah,
kind of. I mean, I wasn't happy with the Havertz price, to be honest, but it's not my money, whatever.
Yeah. But I think it's not much different, and I think that's what we were saying even before. Like, it's kind of quiet. Nobody's really saying anything because it's Tottenham. But if it was like a big team signing Dominic Solanke for 65 million, they will get roasted. They'll get roasted out here. But because it's Tottenham, I mean, I feel like people are just, hey, it's Tottenham. Nobody cares about Tottenham anyway. But yeah, I don't know about this. They needed a striker for sure. And they probably needed a Dominic Solanke. But 65 mil for him, that's peak, man. That's peak. Yeah.
I mean, that's the best summary for that transfer there. I mean, I hope he comes in and does something. I hope he improves his game. And that's a good point that Nate was making. Was like, hey, the guy still did okay with Bournemouth. So if you put in a support system, that Kulusevski can provide, some deliveries and stuff like that. Timo Werner on the other side, maybe you can see some tally of goals increase a little bit. So it's a promising, kind of hopeful signing. The price is just not right, I'll say. Somewhere around the region of 45 would have been the sweet spot.
Yeah.
So, I think the main thing with them is now what do they do up front? I mean, they have Johnson that's still there, right? And they have Richarlison. What are they going to do in terms of system? I know Johnson can play on either side, but Richarlison, is it just out cold? Like,
I think Solanke starts. I think Solanke starts.
Yeah. I think Solanke starts.
They were not happy with Richarlison. Richarlison actually did pretty well last year.
He tried his best.
Richarlison is Richarlison. It's not. It's not. I mean, it's a decent player, but I think at this price especially, he come in and he's the number.
He has to start.
That's for sure. They're probably gonna play Johnson on the right and then Son on the left because last year, they had to put Son on number 9 center forward, and it's not really his preferred position. He kind of struggled a little bit there, but so that's why Solanke is coming. I think the problem is not Solanke himself. I mean, coming off of a season like that, you will say, okay, cool. I mean, it's good.
Yeah,
it's just the price. The price for him is a little bit. It's a little bit much. I mean, and is he going to be that prolific? Because there's this idea that people always have. Oh, if he did it in a small team, when he comes in the big team with the bigger, with the better players, he's gonna do much better. But no, it's not. It doesn't always happen like that. Like Grealish is a good example of that. He's playing with better players. Is he any better? No, he's not. So it doesn't always work like that. I mean, yes, he's a striker, and he's probably gonna have better players feeding him. But is the system gonna suit it? I don't know. I don't know if the system gonna suit it. This gun-ho system that Tottenham plays right now.
Postecoglou,
I mean, we'll see. But I think for me, a player, and I don't know why they didn't go for him, but a player that would suit them would have been, what's his name, Tony, because Tony kind of played a little bit that Harry Kane role, that withdrawn role, false number 1, false 9, kind of, hold that play, and then just. They play as a basically as a little bit of a 10. I'm not saying Tony is a 10, but is that back to go
9.5?
Yeah, is that back to go number 9 that maybe it gives them something else other than that gun-ho approach. Because I think this year Tottenham they're gonna have to be more intelligent in their play. especially Postecoglou. They're gonna have. He's gonna have to be more intelligent to
Yeah.
go down to 9 men and be like, "Oh, this isn't how I play, and I'm not gonna change for nobody." That has to stop, because if you do that, man, I mean, we gave you a pass last year because he was all cute and that. He's Postecoglou, he's a nice guy, and all that. You do that this year, you get crucified, man. I ain't gonna lie, because you cannot be that ignorant. You cannot be that ignorant and think that. Who do you think you are, man?
This is
a high line on a halfway line with 9 men. Who do you think you are? But okay, you got a pass. But I mean, this year, yeah, they're gonna have to change a little bit their approach. I mean, I'm not saying the way he plays. I mean, everybody knows Tottenham. Everybody wants to watch Tottenham. It's always a great game. They always play well and all that. But yeah, Solanke probably helps. But it's Solanke, man. We're not talking about prime Ronaldo, right?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you're right in the sense that it's like they went for the striker they could get, not the ideal striker. I feel like for the system, because even in second position to Ivan Toney, I would have put maybe Watkins, even though that was not going to be a possible signing. I know Aston Villa is not going to let go so easily of Watkins, but just for the pace and the energy he has, I think he fits more Postecoglou system. Just high press, running.
I feel like Watkins would be perfect for them too.
Right. Yeah. So I don't know what Postecoglou gonna go for. That's a good point you're making. Now that people have figured out a little bit what he's gonna do, is he gonna do it? Is he gonna stick to it? Is he gonna? From what he said there is no plan B. It's plan A, or you do plan A better. So let's see what better looks like. Because they do have a quite a long way to go. I will say, just in terms of position, I know that's something I want to hear from you guys as well, where you put Tottenham next season. But I think they're a little bit of a dark horse too. Last season, they surprised us all. They actually stayed up top of the league for a little bit and eventually choked. So do they now have the minerals to maintain a little bit? Can they have a few consecutive wins early on the season and maintain that? I think the squad is better, is stronger. I feel like they're not going to choke necessarily like they did a little bit last year when Van der Ven especially went out. Their system completely got a little bit destroyed, and I don't see any movement in defense to counteract that. But I feel like up front they do look beefed up. They do look a little bit, I see a nice rotation that can go on up front for them. So let's see. It's Tottenham, man. There's no telling which Tottenham is going to show up every game, but hoping for them to, just at least see some consistency. But I would say if I have to put them in their ceiling this season, I don't think it's going to reach the top 6. I think they're going to be right on the border, maybe 7th. That's what I give.
Wow. I'm interested. I mean, you said I'm interested to know what your top 4 is, man, because all this team you're putting down there, man. I mean, it's like,
my top 4.
Who's making the top
4 is obvious.
Ipswich making the top 4, man. What is it?
Look, the top 4 for me, right? It's gonna be obviously top 2, right? Top 2 is between Arsenal and City. I do think we can come right behind you guys. I think Man U is gonna be the more time goes, the more confident I'm getting. Okay, I'm not even gonna lie. All right, I see a few things that can get us there. All right, we did it first season of Ten Hag. We did it. We can do it again. 3rd. All right. So if we can nail 3rd, I think Aston Villa is going to be a menace. I think West Ham is going to be really, really bothersome.
Yeah, West Ham,
man, I think, top 3, that's Arsenal, City, Man U. After that, I'll put oh man, it becomes tricky. It becomes a little I'll put Villa maybe 4th. All right. Now 5th and 6th. 5th and 6th is the top one. I'll say Liverpool probably 5th or 6th.
Jeez.
I think West Ham can be in that top 6. All right. And then you will have Tottenham, you will have Chelsea.
Really?
The rest. Little segment, little sideways here. I know I'm going to work on that.
Fair enough. I mean, that's what you think. That's what you think. I don't know if I'll put money on that though. Terry Spurs, man.
No, I mean, going back on Tottenham, like I was looking up as well, the Archie Gray signing that was 30 mil for an 18-year-old that has never played in the Prem. So they just spent 95 mil on 2 guys where you're like, you don't know, bro. So
how much was Euro again? And how old is he? How much was Euro? And
wow.
I mean, I'm not saying we're talking about Tottenham, right? Why you go bring it right to Man U?
because you have double standards, man. You have double standards.
Did I not say we overpaid for Euro?
Well, not quite like that. Not with chest.
I said we overpaid for Euro. No, we overpaid. Not as bad as you guys trying to make him think like we just spent 100 million on him. We overpaid a little bit because PSG put 45 for him, and he played for a team that was playing in Ligue 1, not Championship. So let's also get that right. But anyway, let's go back to
Championship is much better than Ligue 1.
That's disrespectful.
Here. Come on, man. Levels above.
You are taking this to another
Nah, man, levels above. Let's ask the viewers, man. Which is Ligue 1?
Wow.
Ligue 1, you know.
Ligue 1 is
Wow.
better.
Wow.
No way.
Okay, let's put that to the side. That's for another day. So that's not good. That debate won't end. Okay. So they should spend 95 mil on guys that are very, like, we don't know what we're going to get. I'm not saying they're bad players. I think Solanke is a good signing, like we said before, but probably 40, 45 mil would have been a better price for that. But, I mean, it's a good signing. So he does improve them. I still think they need work in midfield. And even up top as well. You see, Son did decent last season. Yeah, well, I would even say he did well, but he's no longer the Son of before, where he was banking in like 25, maybe even getting close to 30 goals, like in that range from 20 to 30 goals consistently. I think he's a little bit off that now. He won't be hitting those heights anymore. So who do you have after Son? I mean, you don't really have. You have Werner. I mean, he's decent, but like Johnson again, he's decent. But Kulusevski is a good player, but he struggles to get the numbers with his play. I think that's a criticism for him. So you bring in a striker is probably better than Richarlison that you have. That's an upgrade there, but that attack doesn't look very threatening, at least to me. I'm not seeing that team sheet and I'm like, oof, a bit scared there. You know what I mean? So I think they need work there, but I think with Solanke, at least it's a step. I don't think they'll be able to get anybody else in because they've already spent a good bit of money. But I think in midfield they do need some help because Maddison really carried them last season. So at least until he got injured and
he was injured for a long time, man, and he came back. He didn't do anything, man.
He did it, and then they went good.
I mean, when you say carried them, I mean, it's only the first half of the season. There's still a whole second half where he was non-existent. So when you say carried them, I mean, I'm not too sure because they did play without him for a long time. But definitely, I agree with you, man. I mean, they need help in midfield. Up front, it looks like, I mean, they're not going to go beyond. Solanke.
Yeah, they're not going to bring anybody else.
And yeah, I mean, defensively they're okay. I mean,
they're good. Yeah.
I mean, the problem with Tottenham is beyond the first 11. There's not much that that's going to come and keep that level. Like in midfield, when you go past Bissouma, when you go past Papsar. I mean, who else is there like, to come and pick up the slack?
Højbjerg.
Højbjerg is not even there. Højbjerg is left now.
Oh, he left now. Wow.
He's at Marseille now. So
that's right.
So, I mean, Bentancur is a good player, but he's always injured.
Yeah, Bentancur is probably the best midfielder, but he's always injured. Yeah, and then obviously you got Maddison and that. I mean, is it going to be the Maddison in the first half of the season or the second half of the season? Because when he came back, honestly, the guy didn't do much. So I mean, they have decent players, they have dangerous players, but they don't have anybody like world class. Maybe the only one we can say is probably Son. I mean, Son is a fantastic
world class player.
Yeah, I mean, Son is great.
And right now, I don't know if he's the son of 2 seasons ago. That
I mean, obviously not 2 seasons ago, but you got to say that last year he played out of position a lot of the time as well. Man. Playing that number 9 position. It's not number 9, but I mean, he did a decent job. I think Son is a world class. If it's not world class, it's just on that. He's up there, especially in the Premier League. He's up there with like left wingers or wingers in general. So it's always a dangerous player. So yeah, I think they're doing that, and so they just need help on the bench, man, to come in and just keep the level up. Just don't fall beyond that threshold that the manager has imposed already. I mean, first half of the season last year they were great, and they're just kind of like once they started to have a few injuries, that's when things just started to crumble for them. So that's what they need. They need a squad basically. So, but I mean, what's going to help them this season? I don't think that they're not in Europe, are they? So that's going to help them to just focus on the league.
They're not in Europe?
I don't think so. I don't think they're in Europe.
Where did they
I think
finish?
we kicked them off. They were fifth, right?
No, they were finished above us. They're in Europe. They're in Europa.
Are they in Europa? Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
We,
we probably need.
No,
We
the
kicked
FA
Chelsea
Cup.
out. We kicked Chelsea
Oh,
out.
we kicked Chelsea out. Okay.
Yeah, okay. So yeah, I mean, well, yeah, Europa, that's going to be tough on them on the squad as well. So they need to build that, to build that squad basically. So yeah, that's what I can say about Spurs basically.
Yeah, pretty much.
That's
I
fair.
agree.
Yeah,
A lot of
okay.
question mark on them, and question mark on the manager as well. Because, like you said, if he's gonna come with them same tactics, man, it's not gonna go well, man. It's not gonna go well. So
Mhm.
he needs to figure out. Second season in the Prem is always harder as well than the first
Yeah.
season.
Yeah.
So he needs to be on it. And I think he's a good manager. I think he's gonna do well. I just think that team in general is just not that I can really challenge consistently up there. So yeah, I see them being like 5th or 6th. I see them fighting for that 5th, 6th, maybe 4th place. Like I said, top 4 is very open, so they'll be fighting in there. But I see them finishing like 5th, 6th for me.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we're gonna end it there then on this episode. Guys, let us know what you think about what we talked about today. Do you think City is gonna, stay on top and win this year, or are they gonna fall off the pedestal or fall off the perch where they at right now?
Can't wait.
hopefully they do, right? Yeah.
Hopefully.
And, yeah, tell us about Tottenham as well. If you're a Tottenham fan, we'd love to hear from you. Just let us know where you see your team at the moment, where you think you're gonna finish, and just let us know what you think of what we said about what we said today. And guys, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and share, notification bell, all that jazz. And there's gonna be a link in the description for our FPL mini league. Feel free to join. We're just gonna have fun on that, and we'll see you again soon.